Welcome to our first coffee and conversation in 2024.
Yay.
Great to see everyone. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, how was everybody's New Year?
Mine was great.
All right, sounds good. So as you see, RJ and I are together today in my office. RJ is in my office. We'll be conducting a strategic planning, setting up for the year. He's doing for both of my companies and training my trainers. So I have the honor and pleasure to spend a couple of days with RJ. So make sure you set up your goals for the new year, starting new year. And that's why Meaghan will be our great way to, your topic will be a great way to start the year, probably, right? But first, we would like to welcome all of the ambassadors, if anyone is here, and Consul. Who can jump first? Jeannie, do you want to say hi? Everybody, please say hi to everyone.
Hello.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Somebody has an echo there.
It's me and Brandon are like on the same space.
Yeah, that might be that's probably it.
Just mute yourself.
I would say just mute unless you're not talking. If you're not talking, just go ahead and mute and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and if you want to talk, just one of you can have it open, then that will help. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. I'm here representing the ISSA Council as the chair this year, and excited to see everyone and watch for lots of great, interesting news coming from our ISSA Council and ambassadors soon. So I'll let everyone else introduce themselves.
Yep, if everybody can jump and introduce themselves, that would be wonderful.
I can try and follow along here. We have I'll start with the way my screen's set up. So we have Lacey is my very first block.
Hi guys, Lacey Nash, Clean Squad out of Metro Detroit. I'm on the ambassador team, so I'm excited to see the new faces and looking forward to a really productive 2024, both on the ambassador team and in my business.
Wonderful, thank you, Lacey.
We have Vicki Brown is on our Emeritus Council.
Morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Vicki Brown.
Vicki, it was very difficult to hear you.
Okay.
Okay. We have Beth Derrickson is on our council.
Happy New Year, everyone. Beth Derrickson with Cornerstone Cleaning. We're out of Maryland.
Nice, welcome.
We have Marlo Knipe, one of our regional ambassadors.
Hey, Marlo, from Deserved Comfort House Cleaning in Columbia, South Carolina. Happy New Year.
Stacy Conkle is started as a residential ambassador, is now on our council. She's doing double duty.
Stacy Conkle, A Beautiful Day Cleaning in Northwest Arkansas.
We have Bruce Vance, who is on our council as well.
Good morning, Bruce Vance, Town and Country Cleaning, Chapel Hill, Pittsboro, North Carolina.
And then I don't want to miss anybody, but I see that I know I saw her. Stacy Stiglich is on here. And if you are a member of ISSA Residential, then you know who Stacy Stiglich is. If you are not a member of ISSA Residential and have any interest, Stacy Stiglich will be in touch with you and can answer any questions that you have. She is our membership coordinator with our ISSA residential team. So welcome, Stacy. And I think that's everybody. Oh no, Jonathan Lorbacher is here. He is on our residential ambassador team. I don't know if he can, he's not on camera. I don't know if he can hear me.
Wait, who is this?
That's it. We're just introduce yourself, Jonathan.
Oh, cool. Hang on just a second. I'm getting things set up here. Cool. Yeah. So I am Jonathan Lorbacher. For those who have heard, maybe I have 9 kids. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. I'm here. My computer was not playing very nicely. Yeah, I'm that guy with a bunch of kids that I'm down here in North Carolina. with Town and Country Cleaning. Been going at it for just about, it'll be 8 years this year, I think. And I've really enjoyed my time in the ISSA, and yeah, want to help people get plugged in and find the relationships and things that I found, and let's do this together, make things good.
Yep. I'll turn it over to Gosha and RJ so we can get started, because we've got a really great speaker today. But I do want to make note, we'll do some breakout rooms at the end. I would love to have Sharon Tinberg, if you want to do one on training. We have a training webinar next week. I think Sharon can give you a preview of that and talk a little bit about a training program that we have here at ISSA, our house cleaning process and procedure training. We're also going to do another breakout room, I think, with Jeannie and Bruce, and then I believe John Nodorf is going to join us. The EPA is proposing a new safe product certification, and that can have an impact for our residential cleaning industry. So we want to kind of gather some feedback if anybody is interested in joining that breakout room. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Gosha and RJ.
Thank you, Erin. And first of all, let me say from Jeannie to everybody on the council, to the regional ambassadors, thank you all for staying connected to our community. It's such an important part. Like Jonathan said, you know, we feed off of each other, we learn from each other, and we grow. And I know that ARCSI, ISSA Residential now, has been very impactful to PCT, which turns 22 today. We have been in business for 22 years, but I started coming to ISSA since, since 2006. And it's been a wonderful journey. I'm sorry to say I've only missed two our conventions in those years. I have been diligent about going to every single one because I know the value. I know the value of learning. I know the value of friendship, and it's been amazing. And so for all of you that have influenced those 22 years, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be part of this community. So with that, Gosha. All right.
So let's start with our amazing speaker today. Thank you, Meaghan, for joining us. So here is a little bit of bio about Meaghan. For some of you who don't know who Meaghan is, Meaghan Likes superpowers taking people's fears out of their finances. She owns 5 businesses in Northern California, her favorite of which is her window cleaning business. And while you wouldn't guess it from her personality, Meaghan's day job is working as a CPA. Wow. Meaghan's passion is educating and empowering other businesses owners across the world by teaching them how to find financial freedom in their own lives. She is known as a disruptor in the accounting industry, and her claim to fame is showing small business owners how to do their own bookkeeping correctly in less than 1 hour per month using QuickBooks Online. No accounting knowledge or experience required. She teaches business owners smarter ways to make money, save money, and will inspire you to give back in meaningful ways. Wow, Meaghan, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. And you and I have crossed paths many times, right?
Yeah, we have. There's so many familiar faces on the screen. So hi, everybody. Long time no see.
Yes. So please, Meaghan, tell us about what do we need to start a year with? What's the priority?
Okay, well, so I love that you guys are in strategic planning mode over there. So I'd like to take a poll and just kind of see from the room who has a goal set for 2024. By show of hands. Okay, and is it written down? Like, is it somewhere where you can see it right now? Okay, great. And is it a SMART goal? Like, if we think about it, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it achievable? Do we care about it? Like, is it relevant? And is it time bound? And I feel like the secrets to success of knowing where you're going to be. Let's fast forward 365 days from today. What you do today calls the shot of where you are a year from now. And so we often are in this like new year, new beginnings, New Year's resolutions. Like we just have all this energy and excitement about like this year's going to be different. Anybody feel that way? Anybody feel like this is the year that I break a new milestone, or this is the year that I'm fully staffed, or this is the year that I am ready for, you fill in the blanks. We usually start with that energy. And then what happens is about 3 weeks from now, maybe 10 weeks from now, maybe 20 weeks from now, we start taking punches to the chin, right? Like things start happening to us. And so I like to say that when I do my strategic planning, that it's a SMART goal, and I very rarely miss a goal. And the reason why is because I look at it every day. I look at it every week, and I just keep changing it so that I hit it. Last year, I had a couple of punches to the chin. I lost half my team on October 6th, headed into my busiest quarter of the year. And I still got within 3% of my goal by the end of the year. And that's what's going to happen to you. It might happen tomorrow. It might happen next month. It might happen 6 months from now. And we could be a victim and just be like, oh, these things are happening. You know, the phone's not ringing. The leads aren't coming. I'm not fully staffed. But I like to set SMART goals so that I can actually hit them. So I think that's probably where we should talk about today, is like, how do we turn what we want to do this year into something, in an action plan? Like, how do we make it actionable? Yeah, but you guys tell me, this is supposed to be a conversation, right? Like, so I don't have slides. I mean, I do have a million slides over here, but I don't have slides prepared. And I thought we could kind of take this where we go, where we need to go.
Does anyone have questions?
Anybody want to share their goal? Like how we can help you kind of turn it into an action plan? Because I think that's, to me, that was the part that took many years. Probably took me 12 years to figure out, how do I turn a goal into an action plan so I can actually hit the goal? Yeah. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi. Hey, one of the things that I have found is also like talking about your goals with other people and how important that is. One of the biggest goals that I hit several years ago, I think the only reason that I was able to hit it is because I publicly announced it in front of over 200 people. And, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to reach that goal by the end of the year. So, that's one of the things that I have found is really helpful too. In addition to the seeing it every day, that's so important.
Yeah. So everybody like comfortable sharing your goals? The funny thing is I'm a money person, right? So people get weird about money. They don't like talking about money publicly. They don't like talking it. They think it's braggy. And I'm like, well, then let's find a goal that we're comfortable with. Maybe it's a staff number. We're all in the business of selling other people's time. So maybe if we're afraid to talk about our revenue goal or a net profitability goal, maybe we can talk about a staff goal. A couple of years ago, I took on the challenge of, I'm going to finish this thought real quick. Sorry. A couple of years ago, I took on the challenge of reducing my turnover rate. That was my goal. My whole focus was getting the right people in and keeping them in, and not burning the money of turning them over. And that definitely added to my bottom line. But that was a goal I was excited to talk about. RJ, go ahead. I'd love to hear what you were about to say.
Since you're the numbers lady, I'll share my financial goal for this year for 2024. When we hired Brandon, actually, I told him, I said, we want to add a revenue of $1 million this year. And I said, it might sound aggressive to you, but it didn't to him, which I was thankful. And thanks with his help, right now on January 4th, we have about just under 700,000 in sort of contractual agreements already.
Wait, so in the first 4 days, you sold $700,000?
Well, I mean, it's been leading up to.
Wow.
But we are in agreement to hopefully close that within the next 30 days.
And you did your strategic planning a little bit, a couple of weeks ago, right?
I actually did ours a little bit earlier than now.
Yeah, well, can we give him a round of applause? Like, I love that. I had a similar moment, not at all financial related, but last year my goal was to learn how to make a French baguette. And I, on the last day of the year, sat in a kitchen. I locked myself in a kitchen and I made 3 versions of a baguette. I made 10 baguettes. And it was so fun that we said, well, what's next year's goal? And it was to make croissants. So we did it on the first day of the year. So we tried to learn, like, I feel like that's what RJ is doing. He's like, I got a goal. I got 365 days to achieve it. So in the first 4 days, let's do 70% of the goal. Now, the tricky part will be to close the contracts and get all the way to the 100% mark. But I'd like to break down the $1 million number for RJ, because I think I don't know where we are on the call. I don't know if we're commercial or residential, and I don't know what size companies we have, but I feel like in my line of work, I hear $1 million a lot. There's something super sexy about $1 million. I don't know if it's like 6 zeros that makes it sexy. I don't know if it's like the saying a million. I don't know what it is, but I hear $1 million a lot. And I like RJ's was to add. It was not to hit, it was to add. You know, he was going to add on top of. So let's talk about breaking down $1 million goal. We have cleaning companies, most of us. And the thing I love about the cleaning industry is it's recurring. So how much is that in monthly revenue to have $1 million business? Does anyone know?
83,333.
Yes, 83,333. So who knows their monthly recurring revenue number as of today? Yeah, the cleaners are good at this. Like my window washers and my pressure washers, they all talk about revenue. Cleaners talk about run rate, right? I got my run rate. Okay, so we all know our recurring revenue number. Okay, so then let's break it down just one more step. You guys are going to watch me break down a goal. And yours might not be $1 million. You can insert your own number to this math. But okay, so we need 83,333 per month. So then we think, well, what is our average cleaning? Anybody want to give me an average cleaning number?
$225.
$225. And how often do you like to sell your cleanings there?
Bi-weekly.
Are you a weekly, a bi-weekly, or a monthly?
Times 26.
So $225. So we have 26 of those. Well, that's tricky. Can I just say there's 2 of them a month? Can we just do it that way? We're gonna pretend like it's twice a month. So it's $450 per client per month, right? So 83.
Most people don't complete all 26 in a year. So
okay, so this works good, right? So we need 185 biweekly clients to hit our goal. For some reason, 185 to me is way sexier than 1 million. I don't know why, because it's smaller and it's easier. But here we go. We've got 185 clients we need. So then we think, how many do I have today? So if you have 180, guess what? You're sitting like RJ. January 4th, you just got to go get 5 clients and keep the rest of them happy. You could be an overachiever and go get 10, right? And lose 5. But I like that because now the problem is bite size. And people don't like it when I use the word problem in business, but I don't know. I'm very like doomsday-ish. The sky is falling, the building's on fire. Like I like to solve problems. I'm an entrepreneur. So if our problem is we have 100 recurring clients right now and we need 185 to get to our goal, then we just build a plan for that. How many leads do we need? Anybody know how many leads they need for this year?
Depends on their conversion rate.
No, but like in your company, do we all know how many leads we need? Like today's January 4th. I know in my window cleaning company, I need 1,855 leads this year. Right? So first we set a goal, then we figure out, okay, how many clients that is. Then we figure out how many leads is that so we can build a marketing plan. And then we figure out how many cleaners is that so we can build a recruiting plan.
Right.
Does that feel different? Like people, they just say, I want to do 1 million or whatever. And I'm like, no, let's build it out. Like to this month, I am going to spend $50,000 on marketing and I'm going to be really happy about it. And that $50,000 in marketing is going to bring me 110 qualified leads and I am going to close. You see how I talk? It's different. It's weird. I like numbers, but the numbers help us achieve the goal. And if we can just choose one number, I don't care which one it is. I like, $1 million of extra revenue. And then defining it. I want those to be commercial contracts. I want them to be multi-year. I want them to be weekly cleans. I want them to be staffed by this team. And I'm going to be really happy with that. And then here's the trickiest part about goal setting, guys. We have to celebrate when we hit them. As entrepreneurs, we do not celebrate. We're not good at celebrations. It is not in our nature. It's actually something that Gosha and I bonded over because in Profit First, you're forced to celebrate every 90 days. And Gosha knows how to celebrate. This girl, she knows how she does. It's really fun. So anybody have a celebration that they'd like to share from last year? Let's go back to 2023, 5 days ago in our time machine. Anybody have something they want to celebrate about? Anything they were proud of?
That we already celebrated or are
No,
about?
that we're going to celebrate together publicly right now. Something that you did last year, 5 days ago.
6.95 million.
You're celebrating 6.95 million?
Yeah.
Can you, is you celebrating? Like, I want to hear it. Like, give me a like a good scream. Like, she did 6.95 million last year, guys. Holy shit. Who would be stoked about that?
Well done, Summer.
And it's easier to hype somebody else up than it is to hype ourselves up. So Summer, can you try that one more time?
I had 6.9 million. You're right though about the entrepreneur thing, because my goal was 7.2.
I knew it was coming. I was hoping we could make it through this without you saying. You were gonna say like, but I missed, but our nature is like, it wasn't good enough. That is exactly what we do. Oh, I didn't quite get it. Dang it.
You know, I kind of feel like though you have to have a little bit of that to keep pushing yourself. So I guess maybe after celebration time.
I think the world does that to us, Summer. They do it all the time. They'll discount it. They'll tear you down. Like the world will take care of the naysaying. Like, you got to be, I send myself love notes, guys. I send myself flowers. I'm my own hype girl. I have automated text messages and emails to myself telling me how great I am all the time, because the world is out there telling me I'm not great. That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Summer, let's try it one more time.
I am so thrilled that last year we hit 6.9 million. Very proud of my team, and I'm going to take them to Vegas next week. We're going to party down.
I love that for you. I half believe her that I am so thrilled, but I 110% believed her when she was proud of her team. Do you see what happens as entrepreneurs? Like, when it's ourselves, we're hard on ourselves, but the people around us, we're like, we hype them. Like, your team is awesome, Summer, but you are also awesome, and you're going to kill it this year with them. And you're going to take all the lessons from last year, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm just going to challenge you today to find the mini celebrations. I was almost on time today. I don't know if I should celebrate that. I was like 1 minute late, right? I got to skateboard to work today. Mini celebration. I'm so happy about that. I don't get to do that very often. I got to do that, right? I get to be with you guys today. Mini celebration to help you set intention, because this is my mission in life, is if I can help you be successful, then I get partial credit. It's a weird thing. I'm like, if you kill it for your team, then I feel like I was a part of it. Anybody else have a celebration from last year? And we want to celebrate you. Summer was brave. Okay, let's hear it, Goja.
Last year in our strategic planning, we decided that our goal is to grow 25% from the previous year. And we actually closed at 26.6%. So my team was so happy, thrilled that we have achieved or actually surpassed that goal. So we'll be celebrating this Saturday at our party.
So your team was happy. Are you happy?
I am very happy. I'm proud of them. Yes. Absolutely.
And we're proud of you. We're like, you should be proud of you. We're proud of you under your strategic planning leadership. I think, did RJ do it last year with you?
Right.
Okay, so RJ gets partial credit. So under RJ and Goja's strategic planning leadership, right? You crushed your goal.
Yep.
And what I love about her goal is it was a percentage.
Mm-hmm.
It was a percentage, and the team could see it every day, every week, every month. They could see it. I think sometimes when we set the $1 million goal, our team is really bad at math, guys. 83,333 is way too big of a number with way too many, not enough zeros, right? Remember how I said $1 million sexy because there's 6 zeros? 83333 is not sexy. Nobody likes it. The threes, there's something weird about it. So we got to make it super simple for our team. So if their number is 10 leads a week, or if their number is, 2% churn, or if their number is 100% efficiency, like finding one number in our big vision plan that they can chase every day. What I like about percentages is, while it's still confusing for our technicians, like that math, my husband is terrified of fractions. Like he is so allergic to fractions, but percentages to him, he doesn't understand how they work, but he knows like that the QuickBooks will show him the percentage, right? So find something that we're not afraid of and that we can watch every day and every month. A growth rate you can watch all year long. We grew this month compared to the previous month. We grew this month compared to the previous month. I love that for you, Gosia. I love that for your team. And I love that you and Summer are both, without me prompting either of you, celebrating with your team. So she's going to Vegas. You're having a celebration this weekend. Like, they feed on our energy. Our job as leaders is hard because we got to be hype girls and boys for everybody. But we can do it if we remember to celebrate, if we take the pause to celebrate. Anybody else have a celebration from last year? We'll do one more. Hi. Yeah, let's hear it. Anna.
I'm Anna. This is my second time being here, so thanks for having me again. We are celebrating, we have 8 part-time moms who, well, not part-time moms, part-time cleaners who work as moms as well.
Full-time moms.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've built my business around the creativity of the schedule, the flexibility, so moms can get back to work while also being flexible around their families. And so we are celebrating 8 of those cleaners on our team who have been with us more than 2 years. So retention is huge to us. I'm a very emotional driven person, and so we rely on relationships. Numbers are not really my jam, but I'm trying to understand them a little more. So 2024 is more of the diving into the numbers for me. And yeah, so today we celebrate 8 of our cleaners.
I love it. Can you share with us a little bit how you're celebrating? That's such a great, I mean, in my window cleaning business, 2 years is like ancient, like they've been with us forever. It's great. I love it. So tell us a little bit, how are you celebrating 2 years with you, and 8 of them? Yeah, so some of them have actually been upwards to 5 years. So I have one at 5, one at 4, and a couple at 3, and a couple at 2. So we celebrate as a team together. We started doing activities together. We also send them gift basket and some gift certificates so they can take their family, because this is, for me, it's about including our family. That's a value that I have, the flexibility around that. So we work with their families as well and celebrate with their families. So yeah. I love it. Anna, we're proud of you. Anybody else think that's an awesome thing to celebrate? 2 years with the company, 2+ years with the company. That's great. I love it. Okay, I got one question for you, Anna. How many are you going to have a year from now? How many more am I going to have a year? More than 2 years? How many total are you going to have? I'm going to have 14. See, I love it. So, and in one of my strategic plannings that I do, it has me call my shots on how many hires I'm going to make this year, how many people are going to be with me more than 2 years, because that's a, sorry for the thumbs up, I don't really know how to make it go away. That's a really important thing to be celebrating. But when I do that exercise of like, how many am I going to celebrate next year? It forces me to have their names in my head to focus on them this year, because I want to keep them till next year, right? If they're good. If they're not good, get out, you know. But if they're good, like, I'm going to nurture them. I'm going to put energy into them for next year. So Anna, I love that for you. And it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by having a great culture. So great job. Okay, where else should we take this? Should we take these celebrations and put that energy into 2024? Does that feel like a good thing to do? Yep. All right, so I'm going to have everybody be weird. I'm from California. We forgot to say that, which means I'm a tree hugging hippie. So now you can qualify me like that. I'm going to have everybody close your eyes. And I can see you because your cameras are on. Everybody close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And I want you to picture next New Year's Eve. Where are you going to be? Are you going to be at home? Are you going to be on a beach? Are you going to be with family? And I want you to think about your week, your New Year's Eve week. That week between Christmas and New Year's. What did it look like? What did it feel like? Was there lots of family time? Was there lots of work? Was it calm? Was it stressful? Was it chaos? What does it feel like? Now I want you to think about your bank account balance, your personal bank account balance. What does it look like? Is it full? After the holidays, right? Whose bank account's full after the holidays? But is it full? Are you pleased with it? Yep. Now I want you to think about your company. Who's there? What faces are going to be there that first working day of the new year? Are you excited to see them? Did you miss them? Or are you dreading it? Now I want you to think about your family. Are they happy with the year you just celebrated? Or are they looking for the next year to be different? All right, now I want us to open our eyes. Pretty eerie, huh? I got a little teary because we naturally think about the past year, right? And we always say this year's going to be different. Today's the day to make it different. And those are the things that are important to me. Those are the shots we get to call right now. I like to predict my cash balance a year from now. That is a very weird way to run a business. But cash stresses me out. When there's not enough, it makes me nervous. And when I'm nervous and stressed, I make different decisions and I'm not a fun person. Right? I also, my calendar, it's most important to me. Like I want to project, what does my holiday look like next year? And I'm talking about it with my team. Is it going to be, you guys are in the cleaning business. Like Thanksgiving week is your worst week of the whole entire year. If you have residential, like that's like hell week for you, right? The holidays are hard already. What can we do today to make them less stressful? I love to be proactive. And what we just did by picturing ourselves a year from now is how we start being proactive. Instead of wondering, well, it just didn't work out. What happened? All right, Brandon, you had something you wanted to share.
Yes. When we started the meeting, we had talked about our goals for 2024. And RJ had commented on the goal for PCT. So I just wanted to go over my goals for 2024. I want to speak about them because I want to hold myself to it and I want to accomplish them. So the goals that I have.
Hang on, I'm going to correct you real quick. You're going to accomplish them.
Yes.
Like, remember how I said the world's going to tear us down? Our language is important. So when I'm talking, I say, I'm going to hit my goal because the rest of the world's telling me I can't because I'm insane. Right. But Brandon, you are going to hit your goal and you have to believe that.
No,
so
I do.
Let's try that one more time. You're going to hit it.
I'm going to hit my goal 1000% this year in 2024, but I'm going to read my goals for 2024. I did send this to RJ and for my marketing plan. I don't know if he's got it yet, but my goal for 2024 is to add 1 million in revenue for the year, add over 15 new manufacturing commercial accounts. Those are big factory facilities. Continue to grow, continue to educate myself on the cleaning industry, to be the janitorial cleaning company. Okay, here it is. Okay, so it's to continue to grow, to continue to educate myself on the cleaning industry. This one's gonna spark a nerve on RJ, but I don't know, I was feeling some kind of way when he asked me to do this. So, but my goal is for the PCT cleaning in 2024 is to be the janitorial cleaning company for the Mercedes-Benz Arena in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And then
I'm gonna stop you right there. This is great. I love this. I want you to choose your first one. Another thing about goals is we want to choose our themes, right? Like, so when I have my action plan, I know what I'm going to be working on every month of this year. It might change, and every week of this year. So Brandon, that one you got the most emotional on. Is that your first goal, or what's your first goal for like this week? What are you working on from that list? And it can't be all of them. We gotta choose the best one, the top one for us.
I accomplished a goal personally for myself. I was able to get into a facility yesterday. We took the ladies out for lunch and then we did a walkthrough. So that was just good momentum moving forward into 2024. It didn't.
And you just celebrated it. Hang on, celebrate that. What did you do yesterday? Tell us again.
I was able to attend a lunch with 2 ladies from the HR department in Terrell. It's a facility in Hiram, Georgia, and we were able to do a walkthrough. But it could have went better.
No, we're celebrating.
I was able to learn. I was able to learn.
We're celebrating.
Things. Yeah, that's why I'm celebrating, because I went out in the field and learned a lot yesterday, and I learned so much that I feel so confident that I'm able to go out and do it on my own now. So I learned a lot, and the opportunity with them still remains, but that's going to take some work. But going back to my goal with Mercedes-Benz, me and RJ attended a meeting with the Cobb Chamber this year, and Arthur Blank did a speech, and he is the owner of the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta United, and he said to all of us that he's about change, So when he said that, it rang a bell in my brain, because I thought, well, if Arthur Blank is a man about change, maybe he can help PCT janitorial educate and enlighten the people in Metro Atlanta about how important it is to clean, not just for appearance, but for health. So I feel like maybe if I have the opportunity to speak with this gentleman sometime, I can enlighten him on something, and he can help us move forward and continue to educate companies in Metro Atlanta on how important it really is to clean, not just for appearance, for health. So that's my goal. And
I love it. And I think you're going to do it.
It can be a little cheesy or generic to some people, but the company that I work for, the company I worked for in Buffalo, New York, we were able to become the power for the Buffalo Sabres. So I don't see why maybe we can't think about coming up with a game plan where one day we could represent, the Mercedes-Benz Arena and have our name, PCT Janitorial, PCT Clean, all over. I think that's awesome. I would love for that to happen one day.
Who else thinks that's awesome? Who else believes that, wants that for Brandon? Right? We all do. Like, seriously, that's awesome. I'm going to break you down just a little bit here in terms of the goal. So we've got the goal. We've got the one thing. He had a list. He chose the one, and then we got to choose the next step. So based on everything you just shared, I feel like the next step is find a way to get a hold of Arthur Blank. Step one, right?
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
you do your next step, and you're like, okay, now that I know how to get a hold of him, what am I going to say? How am I going to provide him value? Right?
No,
That's the next step.
I know exactly what I'm going to say to Arthur.
No, okay, but do you see my point? Like, we got our goal, we got our first step, and then we got to take action on our first step, and then we do our second step.
I've already took action. I've talked to some of the security gentlemen in the Mercedes-Benz, and they have my number, but it's just something that's going to take time. But I have a friend who did work on the Mercedes-Benz. He comes from Western New York too, and he's out here. He came before me. He actually built the Mercedes-Benz, and we've talked, but he's very busy. But I'll take him to lunch and see if there's any opportunity there. But I'm just going to continue to educate myself and learn first, because I have to continue to grow and get better at what I'm doing. But once I get it, and I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to just, me and RJ, because it's a team. I mean, PCT Clean, we're a team first, but we're just going to make an impact in the community and just keep informing people on how important it really is to clean, not just for the appearance, for health. So it's a passion of mine.
We all want that too, and we are rooting for you, Brandon. Can we give Brandon a round of applause, people? Everybody. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being brave and sharing those goals. We're excited for you. 2024 is going to be great. And RJ, you're quite lucky to have Brandon on your team. I think you know that. Anybody else want to share? That was great. Anybody else have something they're mulling over? Anybody have what we call a big, hairy, audacious goal? The kind that makes us so nervous we don't want to say it out loud.
How many of you are actually doing strategic planning? How many of you do set goals?
Almost all the hands went up at the beginning.
Everybody? Yeah. I hope everybody should be doing this, because if you, like Meaghan, you were saying, if you don't have this written, right? That was your first question. Is it written?
Yeah, you gotta write it down.
Is it written? How are you going to pass this on to your team, right?
Yeah, let's take a minute there. Let's write down our goals. And if you have it written down, let's write it down again. It doesn't hurt to manifest it again. I'm going to put in the chat SMART. So I'm going to ask you all to write down one goal, and then we're going to spend a few minutes to make it SMART. So hopefully we're busy typing or writing. One goal. I like doing when we're learning, because like then, it's just done. Like, we wrote it. We got our goal. Here's our number. Here's our thing. So we're writing down one goal for 2024.
Oh, hi. How's it going?
Again, we have a question.
Yeah.
How does one engage their team to be on the same stay on the same excitement level and execute the steps towards the goal.
Love it. So first, I think it starts with us as visionaries doing a lot of thinking. Anybody find themselves with a million ideas? I'm like the idea queen. I got more ideas than I got hair. I got a lot of hair, right? Like I have to filter, because if I went to my team, which I used to do, I was a bad leader in the beginning, and I would be like, new plan. Look at this new plan. Look at this. New plan, guys. They get distracted and they lose energy from that, right? So we have to filter first. I think that's the first step is us as leaders. We need to figure out our goal and then we need to mull it over. So do you guys remember when Summer shared that awesome, badass number that she had? And I asked her to share it again with a little bit more conviction. Same thing happens with our goal, right? You got to feel it. You got to believe it. Like, I am going to get the Mercedes-Benz Stadium as a contract this year. And like, once you're that clear, then you can start talking to your team about it. And we take the I out of it and we go to the we. And then we start asking questions like, how can we do that? How will we achieve it? How are we going to crush that? What do we need to do? Who's going to do it? But I think first, the problem as leaders is we don't get clear on our goal. And we need to do a bunch of math behind the scenes. So that 8-3-3-3, remember, that's really scary. If you went to your team and said, we're going to do $1 million, they'd be like, that sounds good. Okay, let's do it. It's called bandwagoning. You sign their paychecks, guys. Like, you are their livelihood. They're going to say, yes, Meaghan wants that. I want that. But our job as leaders is to help them be successful in hitting that. So I think the excitement part comes from first personal conviction. So coming up with a plan that you're so excited about, you just can't hold it in anymore. Like, I get this energy buzz when I'm really excited. Can you guys feel it? I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I got to share it. You need to feel that way about your goal. And then it'll be contagious to your team. And then we include them in the process. So I will not tell them, go get 110 leads this month. I will not tell them, go close 10 new cleanings this week. I don't tell them those things. I create space for them to come up with those ideas together. So our jobs as leaders, I think, is to create the framework. And then their job as the team that we trust and love so much is to help build the plan to get there. And we just facilitate that plan. And if it's their idea, they have buy-in, guys. They're way more likely to help you achieve the goal. If you shove it down their throat, I have a lot of people that work for me that hate it when I try to shove things down their throat. I don't do it very often because, man, that does not go well. I don't tell them. They tell me. Does that resonate for anybody? Anybody afraid to do that? Afraid to talk about money? Go ahead.
I wanted to add to what you said. It's so true that we as leaders have to be there first to celebrate and allow the team to celebrate with us. That happened on our KPI meeting this Wednesday. That was the last KPI meeting to look at the numbers from last year. And I could feel, I said, hey, we have achieved 26%. And my team was like, this is good. I'm like, that's amazing. And they were like, that's what we wanted to hear, right? So if I just said, oh, it's good, they would be like, oh, okay. But do you see how I pulled them up? I'm like, that's amazing. And then they all celebrated together. They were so happy together, right?
Yep. And I think if we think it's hard to celebrate, it's even harder for them, because what I just heard Goja say is they're looking to please her. Remember how I said she signs their paychecks, right? She's their livelihood. Like, they just want her to be happy. And they look to us like, is that good? Did I do a good job? Right. And I think a good plan shows them every day, today was a good day. And I have a culture in my companies where we have brag channels, and I want them to brag on themselves and I want them to brag on each other. Like, I want to be celebrating the little things. 5-star weeks, great. Let's celebrate it. Nobody missed a day. Great. Let's celebrate it. Everybody on time. Great. Let's celebrate it. Every job done on budget. Let's celebrate it. Like, find the little celebrations and be the hype person. As leaders, we get stuck in all the day-to-day stuff. Trust me, I got a lot of companies and a lot of people that work for me. My to-do list is pages long, but my primary job is like to celebrate and to praise and to find those moments. 26%, guys, it's great. It's huge. It's fantastic. They need that from us, and it takes so much energy. So in these spaces, we get to be tired and we get to be grumpy, you know, but they need that. They need that energy from us. I love that.
And also,
did that answer the question about how do we engage our team? I feel like we can go back. Sorry, RJ, go ahead.
I just wanted to add to what you said. And Anna, one of the other ways you can keep your team engaged and excited is through a weekly scoreboard meeting. And you measure what you're doing on a weekly basis that's heading towards that goal. And that's how you keep them engaged and excited.
Anybody have a New Year's resolution? Yeah, I want to hear in just a second, but it's just like New Year's resolutions. Like we fizzle. We don't talk about them in April, right? It's super rare when we talk about them in November. Think about your team. If you have a rah meeting next week talking about your goal for the year and then you don't talk about it again, they're gonna not care. They're gonna forget. It's gonna be like this. Well, that was a long time ago. We like to do this. We call it the 12-week year is a great book, and it talks about the psychology of a New Year's resolution and how we can shift that psychology and make it a 12-week year instead of a 12-month year. Jeannie, I'd love to hear what you were about to say.
Yeah. That quarterly, breaking it into quarters makes it not so far away. And yeah, that is a great strategy. One of the things that we've done in our team, and this is not something you can do when your business is small, probably, but as we've grown, you kind of see the people on your team who gravitate towards celebration, So I've actually put other people on my team in charge of watching for opportunities to celebrate. So it's taken some of the burden off of me. I am still the number one cheerleader on the team. However, they look for those opportunities to celebrate. So, and they plan the celebrations. So it's really helped me out, especially operating more than one business. So
I love that. So she has empowered her team, and then she's trained her team, and then she has held her team accountable to it. This is a habit. It's just like a gratitude habit. It's way easier to find the bad than it is to look for the good. So creating a culture of looking for good. 1 Minute Manager, one of my favorite books ever, but like taking a deep breath, looking around and finding something to praise, because people naturally love to be praised. So celebrating, people naturally love celebrations. You can turn anything into a party. I've been having a lot of budget parties lately. They're not really that fun or sexy, but if you pretend like they're fun and sexy, like this is how we all get raises. That's how I framed them for my company. So I was like, we get to choose how much we're going to make this year, guys. Ready? It's called a budget party. Let's go build the budget that sets our salaries. Everybody in my company gets to choose how much they make. I think that that's super important, but they got to build the plan. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jeannie, for sharing that. I love this idea of having, if you're not naturally a happy, sunshiny, celebratory person, that's okay. Know that about yourself and be like Jeannie and find someone in your company who gravitates towards that, who enjoys that. But it has to be genuine. I do think that's important. I don't like the people who are like falsely happy or falsely separating. Like when I say like, I'm so excited that I was almost on time today, like, do you believe me? I was genuinely really happy. Like there were a lot of things that made me almost not on time today, right? All right. I think we have 9 minutes left. So how do we want to wrap this up? Or I heard something about breakout rooms. I just want to be respectful of time.
Yes, we are going to go to breakout rooms, but prior to that, we'll take 2 questions. Any questions for Meaghan? If you can unmute yourself and ask Meaghan anything you want. Summer, did you have a question?
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. I was reading the comment.
Oh, okay. Anybody have a question for Meaghan? No? Everybody good? Everybody have their goals for 2024?
I have a comment. So,
Yeah.
the financial aspect, which we came on and I was thinking, financing, budgeting and all that, but my big takeaway, this celebration thing is huge. I'm really glad that we had this conversation. Like it just a little bit of a fire on me. So I like to celebrate, but I'm just not consistent with it, and like Jeannie said, it's something that I have to delegate, so I'm over here thinking like, oh my God. So, we'll celebrate, but then we don't follow up, or I don't follow up, I should say. I don't. So, great conversation. I'm so glad we had this call. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. I heard Jeannie say she created a system of celebrations. right? Like not only did she delegate, but she made a system around it. And I'm a system. I love systems because like you said, I have a million ideas, but then I'll do it once and then I'm not consistent about it. So systems help me be consistent about it. I like that. And then let's talk very quickly about a budget, because I want you all to know that like, we don't just do the goals and we don't just do the celebrations, but in our goal, like when I predict my bank account balance next year, that's all about the budget. And budgets are simple. Like everybody overcomplicates them. I do budgets in 20 minutes now. A budget should never take longer than an hour ever. If you're taking longer than an hour to do a budget, you are doing it completely wrong. But here's what we do. We predict our revenue. Okay. We figure out how many clients is that. We figure out how many leads is that. This is just math. And we figure out how much marketing do we have to spend to get those leads. Then we say, how much do we personally as the owner want to make? I don't care if it's W-2 or distributions, but how much do we want to make? And then what do we want our net profit to be? That is how you build a budget, guys. That's it. The difference, it's math, it has to equal 100%. The difference is how much you can spend. And then you go figure out how to spend like that. So I love cleaning businesses because your cost of goods sold are dialed. And if I just said a word that you don't know what it means, then we need to have a conversation offline. But how much it costs you to make money is dialed. That should never change no matter what size your company is. It should be within all of you, within 5%. So cost of goods sold is dialed. Marketing is going to vary. Like if you have strong brand recognition, your marketing spend is going to be different than if you're a brand new business who has no clients, right? Marketing is going to vary. Owner salary, that has nothing to do with anybody else on this call. That has to do with your lifestyle. There's a guy on this call that has 9 kids. He needs to make a whole lot more money than I do. Although I do like to spend, but kids are expensive, right? So how much you make is based on your personal situation, nothing else. I don't care about anything else. How much do you need to make to live? And then how much do you want to net? Which I hope you heard, and we don't have time for the fight, so I'm glad I left this for the end. Our net profit is totally independent of our personal income as an owner, right? We're running companies here. These are not piggy banks. These are not lemonade stands. They are companies. They need to be profitable. And then the difference between all those things is how much you have available to spend. And as leaders, we're in charge of not overspending. I'm staring at a plastic table in my office because it wasn't in the budget last year and it's in the budget this year. I need to buy a new table, but that's how I make decisions. Like it wasn't in the budget. I wasn't going to eat into net profitability. I hate this plastic table, but now I can afford to go buy a good table. All right, sorry to end that at the very end, but budgeting is not complicated. It is very, very simple. And I hate when we spend hours talking about how much we're going to spend on gas and how much we're going to spend on software subscriptions and how much we're going to spend on just silly little one-line things. I don't care. Net profitability is our job to protect.
Is there a guide, industry guide of how much should we spend on payroll? How much should we spend on overhead? Can you give us any other areas, numbers? How much should be the net?
Does ISSA have a guide in terms of target percentages? Because residential and commercial will be different.
Right.
I think ISSA probably has a guide on target percentages for cost of goods sold. The other ones like admin, building, overhead, I don't like to give percentages because some people can work out of a shed. Some people can work out of their house. Some people need to have a big office. Net profit is my favorite one to talk about. Net profit between 10 and 20% is considered healthy. And I am seeing companies, if you're very organized and diligent as an owner, you can be operating between 20 and 30%. And we are facing a recession. We're facing a recession, guys. So the best way to survive a recession is to run a profitable company stacking cash, right? We have to be profitable to stack cash. We're gonna need cash.
I agree that model is about right. You know, labor or cost of goods sold is mostly labor, right? So we shoot for 50 to 55% in that range, and then 25% overhead, which is all those other expenses like you were talking about, Meaghan, that can be variable based on the size of your company. And then, you know, that leaves 20% as owner's profit.
Yeah, I disagree just slightly, but that's okay because I like to consider owner's profit before the net profit.
Right. Yeah.
So
If you
and
flip
it's
it,
so
if you
it's
flip
so
it, yeah.
common that people just mix them up, and I'm like, no, I want you to separate them because when you go to sell, right, you have how much you made as the owner, but we're selling based on how profitable the company is usually. So
I have a
yeah.
question.
Yeah,
I have
go
a
ahead.
question. If you want. Again. Okay, so I hear a lot of people like they have their books in QuickBooks, right? So they put all their costs and their bills in there, but we do it a little bit differently or separately because you know, QuickBooks has like if you own vehicles or you own equipment, that's added back in as part of so we do it and break it down as a cash flow from month to month based on what went in and what went out of the bank account. And it's broken down into 3 sections, variable costs, fixed costs, and management costs. And then obviously at the bottom, that's where it all comes out. That way we know down to the penny how much cash we made that month instead of, you know, just seeing all the numbers in QuickBooks just going up and rising. I don't know.
Summer, we could be friends for sure. So
Okay.
I'm technically a CPA. I am not anybody on this call's CPA. And every other CPA I meet says I'm a terrible CPA. And here's why. Because what you just described is exactly how I run management reports for companies that I work with. So I believe in a profit and loss. Everybody likes their profit and loss. They talk about how much they make, their cost of goods sold, their expenses. But at the end of the day, what they care about is cash in their bank. So at the very bottom, I add in those balance sheet activities because nobody ever wants to talk about a balance sheet. That is like the dirtiest, scariest word. And I have spent 15 years dancing on my head trying to get people excited about balance sheet. Nobody cares. What they care about is cash, right? So this idea that we can run companies, we can predict our cash a year from now based on those activities. Money in, money spent, what's left. And our job is to preserve that bottom line. The rest of it is just math. You can work backwards any which direction. You can do this for a $7 million company. You can do this for a $70,000 company. It's all math. At the end of the day, we want to be focusing on that bottom line, and that bottom line, cash in the bank, profitability. And those aren't always the same. And I think that Summer kind of tried to dilute that. You know, we've got our car payments and we've got there's lots of other things involved there, but I like to keep this simple. Aaron, your husband's an accountant, right? Yeah. Sorry, Summer, go ahead.
I am muted. Yes, I'm married to a CPA.
Yeah, Aaron and I bonded about this during COVID times when we became friends and we never got to see our families. But you know, what we're trying to do here, guys, is run a business, a healthy, profitable business. Keep it simple. Keep it in terms you care about.
I have to ask you a question, Meaghan. In the early 80s, when I was your age, I was taught in my first corporate job that you should always have 3 months of payroll in the bank. We did that in a corporation because we wanted to go to Wall Street and borrow money in January and look really strong. But I think that's a good rule of thumb. Do you agree with that or not, especially going into a recession?
So I think 3 months payroll is an interesting way. I don't know if I've heard that before, but cash reserves, I think that's a very important thing. I changed my tune last year, 18 months ago, when we started to see these inflation numbers hitting really high. So we used to say 3 to 6 months of expenses would be a great emergency reserve. Then I changed my tune to 1 to 3 months of expenses. But here's the reality. You guys need to know where you are today. Most of us don't know how much cash we have in our bank account. And what I'm saying is, you know your balance, obviously, but how long will that last you? There's some sort of mental disconnect that happens between the cash in my bank account and the spending of my company. So Sharon, what I like about what you said is we all tend to know how much payroll is every week. So set a goal for yourself. How many payrolls are going to stack in the bank as a savings reserve? And start there. And if the answer is you have 0 in the bank saved right now, no judgment. Trust me, I've been doing this a long time. Make it 1. That's your first goal, right? If you've got 1 payroll stacked in the bank, make it 2. And just grow it up. Now, I think you were trying to ask also, Sharon, like how much is too much? I think right now, 3 months expenses is enough because we still have some inflation. But if you have 0, let's start at 0. All right, RJ and Doja, I think you're going to give me the hook.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's 11:32 here for us in the central time. So I think we really have to wrap up. Thank you, Meaghan. I think that was amazing.
Thank you, Meaghan.
Thank you all. I love you all. Great to see you. I'm sorry I missed ISSA this year. I will see you next year, I'm sure. Erin will make sure of it.
I have that kind of power.
Okay, you do.
Thank you very much for being here. I do want to go into a couple breakout rooms, but before we do, we have a webinar next week. I put the link into the chat because it feeds right off of this. It's about reaching your goals in 2024. It is cleaning up your cleaning system with Sharon Tinberg. She's going to do a breakout room, and you can kind of talk to her a little bit about that, about how you can clean up your system, especially setting goals for 2024, which, we've discussed today is really important to do. We also have, and I'm so glad that Summer is here. We are doing a regional event in Austin, Texas, and I keep saying it's in February. We're doing an HCT class with Bruce Vance on Leap Day on February 29th and March 1st at Summer's office in Austin, Texas. And then we're going to do a regional event on Saturday, March 2nd that Summer is hosting. And I will post a link in the chat for that as well. We're really excited about that. I don't know, Summer, if you want to say anything about that. I know we have, more planning and we're getting more details on that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to have anybody join us. I think I can't speak for whoever Vance, Bruce's class or any of that. I can just speak to what me and Holly will discuss. And that's kind of like how we started off, because we all started off at, a certain point. So I think we're going to be going through that process of going from million to 4 million to, 5+. How we did that, some operational tips, financial tips. I will be doing exclusively on sales, as I'm the sales manager and did the sales for the first 7 years, and all my techniques and so forth like that. So, it should be a great event to be at. I hope that y'all will join us there.
We're excited.
We also are having a major shindig afterwards, so can't discount that either.
A party in Texas. So yes, Jenny will be there. She'll be speaking. Libby Delusion is going to join us. She'll be speaking, as well as Summer and Holly from Maids and More. And then we have Sharon Tinberg doing a training session in the morning. So it is going to be 3 days full of everything that you need. So I put the link in there. We'll have more details coming out. Like I said, one of our breakout rooms next is going to be Clean Up Your Cleaning System with Sharon Tinberg. We also have the EPA certification, and is John Noder, where are you at? I know he was here.
I'm here.
The EPA reached out to us together. We're gathering feedback to comment on a certification that the EPA has proposed on safe products. And then we're going to we wanted to do a breakout room, but I don't know, John, if you want to tell them, like in 60 seconds, what is the certification, that way, if they want to offer you some feedback.
Yeah, we're basically trying to seek feedback. EPA has a program called the Safer Choice Program, which basically credits safer cleaning products. So you'll often see the EPA Safer Choice logo on a bunch of products. Well, now they're getting into the cleaning service space. And so they basically are trying to design a certification for both residential and commercial cleaners to say, I've been kind of blessed, or I've gone through whatever, and I use safer chemistry. So basically like a green cleaning certification for using EPA registered products. So they're seeking feedback from us. I have about 10 pages of notes from our members trying to make sure that whatever they come up with is a good standard, but would love any feedback that anyone has, or if anyone's got any thoughts or even comments on that. Happy to answer any questions in the breakout.
Good. Thank you, John. All right, everybody. Erin, thank you always for putting us and keeping us together here. Thank you, ISSA residential community, for joining us today on Coffee and Conversation. We wish you a very, very successful 2024. Keep joining us every month, and we will keep incentivizing you. We will keep informing you. We will keep encouraging you. That is our goal. And we look forward to seeing you next month and in our breakout session. If there are no other questions, we'll go ahead and do that right now. So thank you again. And Erin, have you already given us the breakout sessions?
I just opened the rooms. You should be able at the bottom of your screen to select the room that you want to go to.
Okay, perfect.